You're trying to control your dog when you are expecting guests or guests unexpectedly arrive, or whether it's the mailman or the UPS dude or whatever. There are certain protocols you have to follow. The easy way out is confine the dog. Well, in that environment, the dog learns nothing. And I know with a baby in the house and working parents and so on and so forth, I get all that. But basically, like I said in our phone conversation a couple days ago, you have to control. In order for the dog to learn, you have to control the environment a little bit. It's not about the dog, or it's not about you accommodating the dog. It's about teaching the dog to accommodate you. So, up front, there's going to be a few minor changes, but basically they're timing things or confinement things. It's not about you altering your entire lifestyle to accommodate the dog. Leash and collar management. We've talked about this. I cannot reinforce it enough. When I get calls from clients after the dog's gone home and said, well, the dog did X, Y, Z, and it's like the first question I'm going to ask is, was the dog on a leash and collar? Because that right there solves 99.9% of your problems. And it's not because it disables the dog's ability to learn. It disables the dog's ability to engage in behavior you would have to correct. There you go. There it is. The big giant nutshell. So in a situation where you have guests, there is an appropriate and an inappropriate way. And I'm going to make sure that I send this clip to you before you come out to see the dog to take her home, because this is how I expect you to conduct yourself when you greet your dog. She's going to be overwhelmed when she sees you, and basically your presence is going to remind her of all of the appeasement behaviors that she was engaged in prior to. So the first message for you is be calm. Don't get frustrated. Keep your hands at your sides. Do not approach the dog until she's calm. So essentially, what we're going to do is, in a situation where you have a guest, you expect that guest, the guest arrives, you control the dog before you allow access to the guest. You approach the doorway, tell the dog to sit and stay. Nothing happens until the dog sits and stays. Door doesn't open, guest doesn't come in. That's pretty simple. Might take you a minute the first time, it's only going to take you 30 seconds the next time, and then with practice it's going to be instantaneous. So when the guest arrives, they knock on the door. Come crossways so that we can do the camera this way. No. You can come across the camera, honey. Just approach from this end. So when the guest arrives, stop them. I'm trying to train my dog. Can you please assist me with this? It might be okay if the dog jumps on you. It's not okay for everyone else. So bear with me. If you have one of those people that's like, oh, it's okay, dogs love me, just, tell them no. Your house, your rules, these are the things that we're going to be doing. It's pretty simple stuff. Good girl. They are not allowed to approach the dog until the dog is calm. This is calm. I don't know if you can see, the dog's on a slack leash. She's relaxed. She's not fighting me. She's not making any untoward effort. As long as she maintains this position, your guest can approach. As soon as she starts struggling, the guest can either stand still while you control the dog, or the guest can turn around and walk away, not back away. The dog turns, or if the guest turns around, essentially what the dog learns is they don't get what they want. When your guest, step over this way just a little bit. When your guest goes to approach the dog, now you see her starting to struggle a little bit. She's not putting a lot of pressure on the leash, but she's starting to put some pressure on the leash. At this point in time, I'm going to iterate what it is I want the dog to do. Stay. Very basic. So now, if she decides that she wants to disobey, I have a reason for which to correct her. Greeting your guest is not inappropriate, or greeting your guest is not wrong, although what she does might be inappropriate. The next step for your guest is, when they extend their arm out, palm down, directly in front of the dog. Leave it. Now, she's not allowed to invade that personal space. And as long as she ignores the personal space, the guest can then pet the dog under the chin, at the side of the head, and then over the top. The vast majority of dogs do not like their eyes covered. I don't either. And the reason that dogs have a tendency to overreact is when their eyes are covered. As soon as that happens, the dog dips its head back, the person withdraws their hand, and that's when the dog comes right in after it. Good girl. That was a nice job. The reason we don't want the dog nudging the hand, good. First of all, this dog kind of fears hands. So she's going to start throwing herself into these appeasement behaviors in order to keep those hands off of her or in a place she can control, which is in her mouth. So basically what we want to do is teach her, good. Ignore the hand, good things happen. I should be able to place my hand anywhere around this dog and not have her wigging out. We've spent weeks teaching her that the approach of human hands is not to be avoided. Good girl. Very nice. Very nice. Yes. So, especially with people that don't like to be licked, I personally have allergies to dogs when I'm licked. You know, the saliva is what carries those allergens. So basically, you know, if you have anyone in your household that does have allergies, that's what's happening. Don't allow your dog to lick. There's the hand, leave it. Good girl. Very nice. All right. Now at this point, you can go about and do whatever it is that you want to do.